It's straight up noon. A live look at the White House right now. Still President Biden's home till early next year. But now we know who will be moving in on January 20th. And it's somebody who already knows his way around the White House. Thanks for joining us for this Fox 29 News You Decide special report. I'm Mike Jarek. Hi, everybody. Perhaps sooner than many people expected, the Associated Press and Fox News made their projection of a winner in the race for the White House. This happened, the AP came down about 5:30 this morning. So here are the latest numbers. Former President Trump, now President-elect Trump, with 277 electoral votes compared to Vice President Kamala Harris's 226 votes. Of course, it took 270 to win the White House. And as we take a live look at Center City here from Camden, while Pennsylvania went for Trump, the race for Senate in the Keystone State is still up in the air. Here's a look at where that race stands right now. It's close. Our Kelly Rule joins us live from the Mayfair section of Philadelphia. So, what are you hearing? What are you seeing?
Hey, Mike, so we did want to get out here and just poll voters and talk to them about how they're feeling. So where else to do that than the Mayfair Diner, of course. We hopped inside. We kind of got a range of emotions today. So we were able to speak with some President-elect Donald Trump supporters and some Vice President Kamala Harris supporters. Just going through the group that we were able to speak with so far. And again, we're going to be out here all day talking to different people in different areas. But we spoke with a couple that has lived in Mayfair for about 4 years. He said he was really disappointed to hear about the outcome. Waking up to the news this morning, he said he's kind of feeling pessimistic about the Democratic Party as a whole and feeling like they kind of let them down and set them up for failure. We spoke with an older gentleman, an Air Force veteran. He said he has not been a Donald Trump fan and also was not only shocked but disappointed this morning as well. Then on the other hand, we spoke with a man who thought this was interesting. He said he has not voted in a presidential election in years. He said it's been a long time, but this year he wanted to vote, and he wanted to vote for Trump. And he said the economy was the number one reason, the number one driving force. Another gentleman we spoke with actually used to be a registered Democrat when he lived in the city. He moved to New Jersey. He switched parties, and he said the border was the reason he went out to the polls this year and voted for Trump. Here's what they all had to say.
Kind of a big loss because I kind of wanted Kamala to win. I voted for her. But I just feel as though we just all didn't come together and vote like we should have.
How are you feeling this morning?
I'm great. Okay. Now that Trump won.
Okay. So you voted for Trump?
Yes.
Okay. And talk to me about why you did that.
Economy. The economy got to go forward. Got to get better.
I'm practically speechless. I really thought that Kamala was going to win.
The borders. Probably the number one, because I lost my son 6 years ago to a fentanyl overdose. So keeping the border safe is very important to me. So one of the main reasons why we need Trump.
It's not lost on me. We spoke with all men. That was just what we were dealt with here in the diner, but we will be out and about in Philadelphia today. We're heading to Bucks County, Montgomery County. If you see us out, come by and say hi and tell us how you're feeling. We'll have much more reaction coming up later on Fox 29 at 5 o'clock. Mike.
All right, Kelly, grab some lunch. That's a very good diner there in Mayfair.
It's very good.
Well, Donald Trump will now be the nation's 47th president after being the 45th president as well. Fox's Doug Luzader reports from Florida.
Look what happened. Is this crazy?
In a speech to supporters closing in on 3 a.m., now President-elect Donald Trump declaring victory in the 2024 presidential race.
This will truly be the golden age of America.
A Trump speech coming after winning critical swing states, including Georgia, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania.
I think that we just witnessed the greatest political comeback in the history of the United States of America.
Meantime, at the Democrats' watch party in Washington, D.C., a more somber tone. Harris campaign senior advisor Cedric Richmond saying the vice president was holding off to make remarks until later Wednesday.
We still have votes to count. We still have states that have not been called yet.
Elsewhere, Democrats are already questioning Harris's campaign strategies, including the vice president's pick of Tim Walz as a running mate.
A lot of people are saying tonight that it should have been Josh Shapiro. Frankly, people have been saying that for months.
So, Vice President Kamala Harris is expected to go on national television around 4 o'clock this afternoon. Of course, we will take that live here on Fox 29 and on our app, Fox Local. Well, the race is now over for the vice president, despite predictions that it would be one of the closest elections in history. Fox's Madison Scarpino is outside Howard University, basically the vice president's headquarters during this whole thing.
4 months of hard-fought campaigning, but it didn't pay off for Vice President Kamala Harris. A disappointing end for Vice President Kamala Harris and her supporters, with former President Trump becoming the president-elect after he took multiple battleground states, including Pennsylvania, Georgia, and North Carolina.
We won't go back. We won't go back.
Stunned Harris supporters pouring out of her watch party here at Howard University and the Veep's alma mater after they learned she would not address the crowd Tuesday night.
Thank you for believing in the promise of America.
A campaign official telling Fox that there have been problems since Harris launched her candidacy in July after President Biden bowed out from the race, including how the campaign was organized and the choice of Tim Walz as a running mate.
Why did people not hear the Democratic message? And how do we reach out to people who were not with us in this campaign?
The difference in the race may have been shifting demographics. While Harris drew more Hispanic votes, it was fewer than President Biden won in 2020, and more younger voters went for Trump than expected. As president of the Senate, Vice President Harris will have to certify Trump's election in January. In Washington, Madison Scarpino, Fox News.
Had she won, I guess she would have had to certify her own election. So again, the vice president is expected to speak to the nation around 4 o'clock this afternoon, and we'll take it here on Fox 29. Of course, it's not all about the White House, so let's get you caught up on some of our other local races. Democrat Andy Kim declared the winner against his Republican opponent. Kim will fill the seat left empty when former Senator and Democrat Bob Menendez resigned after he was convicted on federal bribery charges. Remember that? Here's what Kim had to say.
There have been only a few moments in my life where I felt the weight of the moment as I do right now. Like a gravity generated by the magnitude of the consequence in our country. It isn't about me. It is about this moment in America and what we each individually try to do to meet that moment.
All right, let's take a look at some of the other races in the Garden State. Let's see. In New Jersey, Democrat Donald Norcross won re-election in the first congressional district. Not a surprise. He beat Republican Teddy Little. Norcross was first appointed to the White House, 10 years ago, in 2014. This will be his 6th term in the House. Let's go to New Jersey's 2nd congressional district. Republican Jeff Andrew wins re-election with 58% of the vote. He defeated Democrat Joseph Salerno for that seat. And let's jump over to the 3rd district. Democrat Herb Conaway won the race against Republican Rajesh Mohan. Now, Conaway with 53% of the votes in that particular race. Let's jump over to PA now, 7th congressional district. Ooh, close. Ryan McKenzie leads Susan Wild. Look how close that is. Currently, 99% of the votes have been counted. Republican Dave Sunday won the Pennsylvania Attorney General election. He won the race with 51% against the Republican Eugene DePasquale. And history has been made in the first state, Delaware. Voters elected the first ever transgender member of Congress. Democrat Sarah McBride easily won Delaware's only House seat over Republican John Whelan. She previously made history 4 years ago, remember that? When she became the first ever transgender state senator. Here's what she had to say about making history again.
We know here in Delaware that a different politics is possible. A politics of hope, not of hate. A politics of grace, not of grievance. A politics of progress, not of pettiness. This is our charge. This is our charge as Delawareans and as Americans, and mine as your next representative.
Let's stay in Delaware. Lisa Blunt, Rochester, won the U.S. Senate race in the first state. She's now the first woman and first black person to represent Delaware in the Senate, and she beat Republican Eric Hansen. Delaware will also have a new governor to replace outgoing John Carney. Democrat Matt Meyer beat out Republican Mike Ramone. Democrats extended their decades-long control of the governor's house. The last time Delaware elected a Republican as governor was 1988. So now that America has made its choice, how is the rest of the world reacting? Fox's Caroline Shively has some answers from D.C.
Reactions to the presidential race pouring in Wednesday, not only from the U.S. Americans abroad and world leaders are also chiming in on the results, some with congratulatory messages for President-elect Trump.
As the closest of allies, the UK and US will continue to work together to protect our shared values of freedom and democracy.
While others express some worry.
Quite obviously, there is another risk, a reduced commitment to Ukraine.
Incredible. Trump has promised a very different vision of foreign relations than the Biden administration, pledging to end the Ukrainian-Russian war his first day on the job and impose huge tariffs on imports, while also threatening not to defend NATO countries that don't meet their defense spending targets. That's getting mixed reaction from world leaders and Americans overseas.
I'm a little disappointed, not as surprised as I was as 2016. A bit scared now what's going to happen the next 4 years and beyond.
I am very concerned about what this possible new administration would do or what they would say about a woman's body and a woman's right on our reproductive.
Donald Trump is a lot stronger, more aggressive president, which intimidates a lot of people. But at the same time, I think it also helps with order around the world.
One person not weighing in, Russian President Vladimir Putin. A Kremlin spokesman Wednesday telling reporters no congratulations call is scheduled, saying relations between the two countries are at a historical low point. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
Thank you, Caroline. So how did the stock market react? Whoa. Investors bet on what Donald Trump's return to the White House will mean for the economy. All right, there's a live look at where the Dow stands right now. Among today's big winners, bank stocks, which are up in hopes that a stronger economy would mean more customers for them, customers who want to borrow money. Look at Bitcoin has also hit an all-time high. And both Tesla and Trump Media and Technology Group are up as well. Well, that's a quick report for you. I do want to mention that tonight on Fox 29 News at 5 and 6, another complete report about what happened on Election Day. And of course, you can always check in with us 24 hours a day at fox29.com. So now we return to J HUD, our regular programming.